Time. Shutting down a caster and a melee if they tried to come after me, like especially a melee.
Yep, absolutely. No, he wouldn't be able to. His CMB is, CMD is terrible. So, yeah, he would not be able to stand up against it. Wrath's CMD is decent, but you just have a ridiculous bonus. So, buying fighters,
Yeah, or like Scorpions getting like 3 saves and have like a really high base. Like I found a way to jacket so much just from like Divine Favor, Bull's Strength and all that, and then just like getting multiple attempts even because I can give myself haste. I've got 3 attacks around. Like it's just there's no escape. There simply is no escape.
Absolutely. Hi, Jake. Oh, Erica! Hey. Congratulations on the baby. Or
you got a baby?
That?
Yeah.
Didn't she see the picture? Baby was born actually less
the day
than
after
12 hours after D&D finished.
Dang.
Yeah, right before conference too. So that baby has like perfect timing.
A very convenient baby.
How's your first week been with the baby?
Good.
I'm actually really surprised to see both of you on.
Yeah.
Why?
They have their priorities straight.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Oh, I forgot 2 things. I'll be right back.
I hope those 2 things are Kayla and Kyle.
I almost have enough hero points to equal my level now.
What? Was he just giving you hero points over and over again while you were the only one?
I have 6 officially, and I asked him if he was joking, but he said he wasn't.
You can literally use 1 a session and not run out at this point, probably.
Well, I was workshopping with him. I was like, can I just use them all at once and ascend? For lack of a better word.
Dang. Alright. I'm back. I had to get my notes.
From outer space.
What's going on?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, should we go ahead and start? Or do we want to wait for Kayla and Kyle?
Forget them.
Forget them? Alright. Sounds good.
No, I actually, I figure while we're waiting for them, I did have a question, but I'm trying to get Fantasy Grounds open so I could get the notes out and whatever. But I realized I did not write down the names of the actors and the characters that they played.
Yep.
So that would be very nice to have. But
absolutely.
Again, Fantasy Grounds is taking forever.
Yeah, you're just fine.
I had questions for the Matrix as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We can go ahead and let's go ahead and do a recap of last time. And
yeah.
Do Kyle and Kayla live together?
They're in a relationship.
Oh, I had no idea. Well, that's cool.
Congratulations.
No, I'm
Wait,
joking.
that's news to
I'm
me.
just messing around.
Kyle
Kayla's
is currently occupying my house. But
Occupying
Squatter.
as in like as an offensive force? As an occupying force?
Yeah.
As a romantic force.
Oh, baby.
It's cold outside.
Harley has a fan fiction about this, apparently.
I'm already a few pages in.
There's
You
no
wanna read
turning
it?
back at this
Oh,
point.
wait, no, I can read it on stream, actually.
I love it. Why don't we go ahead and start off with a recap? Tiger gave our last one. For a hero point, who wants to give our recap of what happened last time?
I think the right thing Harley to give the recap since he already has like 6 here.
The hero
7.
points for it.
Need a perfect
Yeah.
7.
Yeah, I can cap myself out now. Okay.
I will. Oh no! I won't.
Yeah, that's right. You won't. No, I'm joking. Anyways, so let me know if I'm starting at the right place here. Let me get my notes open real quick. So last time, we gathered information and found out that the attack was happening at the sanitarium. So we decided to head down there, and we saw Harvale Brogan, correct?
Mhm. Yep.
Yes, the former Circle of the Flame leader. And he, as he was presiding over his flock in a very grandiose way, we noticed that the robes that he and his followers were wearing were starting to look very burned and corrupted looking. From their normal, pure white, it was white, right? Their robes?
Mm-hmm. Their robes were white and then appeared to be tarnished or scorched.
Yes, and as each person came up, he appeared to drink the strange liquid that seems to enhance weaving power as he, I suppose, transformed or blessed, quote unquote, as he would put it, each of his children of the night. And they declared that the Night March was their new god, and were poised to strike on the sanitarium in a matter of minutes. So we devised a plan, and I decided, me, Octavius, and Aiden devised a plan, and it was to appear as the god to the Children of the Night. Rand wove fire and shadow into the garb of Octavius to make him have the appearance of a very ghost-like deific figure. Jake's character, Octavius, put on a wig as well, and... Oh, never mind, I'm sorry.
Have the fire and shadow woven into their cloak? Was it Octavius or was it Aiden?
That was Octavius.
Okay.
Octavius's garb to give him that very ghost-like appearance, and the stage was set, in essence. Octavius managed to grab everybody's attention and put on a grand display. And this was pure improv, too, something that Octavius has never maybe done before. Everything he always does was so careful with his plays. Every line of dialogue with such purpose, but this time, he was flying by the seat of his pants, and he did it perfectly. He had the Children of the Night eating out of his hand. They scattered like rats as Aiden struck fear into them and created an effigy that where he appeared like one of them and was devoured by various vermin. And then, as Aiden went to inspect the body of Harvale Brogan, who seemed to strangely fall at the sight of his deity, maybe through shock, maybe through something else, he approached and picked up the vial that Harvale had dropped that he was using to transform his followers, and unable to stop himself from partaking of the vial, drank it, and was able to see the world through a much different lens, that everything around him was malleable, that he could change the world around him in a snap. And with that power, he decided to reach inside of the soul of Harvale Brogan and remove what appeared to be a small snake coiled around his soul. And as he picked it up, it disintegrated in his fingers. And that is where we left off. And Harvale, his fate is unknown for now. And then, on a less interesting side of things, Rand managed to make it to the sanitarium and meet the matron, who was a very large, very beautiful woman that was a still statue, but was able to speak to people telepathically, and handed him...
Oh, you're cutting...
We didn't hear what she handed him.
believe
Harley?
I'm missing anything, am I?
You last minute or so.
What?
We heard
Sorry.
up until she handed him.
She handed him mask to help with the Weaver's endeavors. And I don't believe that I'm missing anything else. Oh, and Gris tried to poison Rand with a black powder alcohol drink.
I don't know if poisoned is the right word.
Just gave you a very friendly moonshine.
Yeah, he gave you his special recipe. He's lonely. All right.
I believe that was it, though. Did I miss anything?
Nope, I think that's perfect. So, you said that to start off with, Octavius, the people of the play. So the two main personages or the characters of your play, the Virtuous Woman, the main leads were Octavius, named after yourself, and then Christine.
Christine or Pristine?
Christine.
Okay.
And then
those are the characters.
The actors who represented the characters were Lamont, played Octavius, and then it was Candace who played Christine. Okay. And then Rand, you said that you had a question for Tessalyn.
Yes. I wanted to ask her, what would happen if I put on this mask? Or anyone else, for example.
There's a brief pause. And she says, I wouldn't recommend it entirely. These masks are ancient, and their use are, well, at least pieces of their uses are not fully known. But those who put the masks on become wholly warped to the identity held within the mask. It is for this reason that we wish to use it, potentially to, at least to some extent, persuade the young princess to our way of thinking.
I'll be honest, Madam Tessalyn, I don't think I like the idea of something that we don't know so much about. Or something so important.
Go ahead and make a sense motive check.
$28.
Okay. Perfect. So, as it's hard to get a sense of who this person is or what her motives are, but the thing that you do kind of recognize from this is because you're basing this solely off of essentially the voice that's coming from the statue, you get the sense that she's not telling you exactly everything about the mask. You've gleaned that there is a bit of almost kinship, is probably the best word, between her and the mask, and you glean that it is extremely powerful. If you were to wear it or someone else is to wear it, you recognize that there is a fair amount of danger associated with putting it on. You do believe that she's telling you the truth about that.
Okay. I would also ask her, and wouldn't it be quite suspicious if she was constantly parading around with something so obvious on her face? Wouldn't that raise some eyebrows?
This isn't that kind of mask. once placed on one's face, the person and the mask become seamless. Did you have any other questions?
How long have I known Matron Tesselin?
You've known her for a fair number of years. In fact, she's been the matron of the Weavers for a fair amount of time. She was in life the matron for a good number of years, and upon dying, she essentially used her had her strongest associates do a little bit of. Give me 1 second. All right. Ugh, sorry. I had a little girl whispering into my ear. So, give me 1 second. All right. Sorry about that. So you know that she had been the matron for a while before she became a statue, and essentially, you would know that a fair amount of her was lost when the transfer happened, but she was essentially placed into the statue to some extent, immortalize her. That being said, she is only one of several people who kind of run the Weavers, but she is kind of the most consistent, persistent voice, if that makes sense. Because pieces of her are lost, she's not entirely trusted, with the direction of the Weavers. But her voice holds a fair amount of weight.
Okay.
And her ability to weave personally is completely gone.
I see. Okay. Would she have known others in my family line? Is she like that old, or?
Mm-hmm. I would say that she would have known your father fairly well. So you would have, grown up knowing who she was, and this is not your first interaction with her.
Okay, gotcha. Well, yeah. I will stow the mask away,
okay.
And I will give her a bow and thanks. And then I will look out the window to see what the situation is outside.
Okay. As you do that, I want to pause real quickly with Iona and Dominique. You're in the room as well. Are you wanting to do anything, ask any questions? Do you observe anything? Are you wanting to do anything right now?
I would like to, I guess, do a perception check to see if there's anything I've noticed that you haven't already described.
Okay.
But I would be mostly observing.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Can I also make a perception check?
Oh, certainly. Absolutely.
$30.
Okay, and then Iona?
Sorry, I'm not at my computer, so I'm just trying to roll a d20.
What the woman who recently gave birth isn't feeling up to sitting at her computer? I'm kind of offended.
Well, my child keeps crying, so I got a 19.
19.
I'm not sure what my perception is. I'm pretty sure it's higher, pretty high.
Shouldn't you be able to roll her through Fantasy Grounds? I've seen Taggart do it, but I don't know if it's an easy thing to do.
I probably can. No, you are completely correct.
Click on it from their character sheet, I suppose.
Yep. I just am not used to using, or at least being the DM in Fantasy Grounds.
Taggart, is Taggart available? I haven't been here long enough to know.
I got it.
Okay.
So they got okay, perfect. So wait, what did you get?
I got a 19 on my roll.
19? All right, you rolled better than I did. We'll go with your one. All right, so Iona, there isn't too much that really sticks out to you. The root of the area around, she is inside a fairly nice study, and I say it's more of a study, even though there's some elements of a bedroom to this. But obviously, she's a statue, so she doesn't need things. You notice that there's a chair, and you get the sense that people who come in here or who interact with her, you get the sense that there is potentially a common practice of people who come in and read to her to entertain her. You, with your history, Iona, you would know that Tessa Lynn has been known to potentially have periodic bouts of madness, primarily because she is stuck in essentially in an immobile body, and without any kind of entertainment or things to focus on, she has gone into bouts of frantic dread and screaming and things like that. But she also has her elements of lucidity. But I would say as a whole, those pieces of her are kept relatively under wraps, if that makes sense. It's something that not the general public knows, but those who are part of the Weavers kind of are aware of that. She is a wealth of wisdom and understanding, and a wealth of knowledge about weaving, but she has her moments of being kind of psychotic. On the other hand, go ahead.
I would like to ask her if weaving could undo this, making you a statue. Would you have that, or would you stay as you are?
There's a hint of amusement in her voice, and she says, "It's weaving that keeps me alive. I lost so much when this was done to me. I doubt that if it was undone, there'd be anything left."
Well, but death could be a new adventure.
Rand's gonna look over at Iona as she says that with a puzzled look.
I think you should die, but I think it's important to be where you want to be.
You're not wrong, my child. Although, something that you should be aware of is that I feel that now more than ever, my guidance is needed. Especially in this time. Potentially after. Once our guild has been secured, and those who would tear us down have been removed, yes, I would say that I could be finally put to rest.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm going to give bow and say we're glad to have your guidance.
Say that one more time. I'm so sorry. I was
for a short bow and say we are glad to have your guidance. Yeah.
Well, it is my pleasure to offer it. On that note, Dominique, as you're kind of exploring the room as Rand and Iona are talking to Tessa Lynn, you do notice that there is what looks to be some very, very faint, at least at first, as you're looking at the mantle that kind of covers this this fireplace that is inside her room, you notice that there's a decent layer of dust there. And in the layer of dust, you notice that there are little symbols that someone drew. At first, it looks as if the symbols that were drawn in the dust are, maybe someone just kind of playing around. But as you kind of get a look at it, you recognize exactly what it is, and you recognize what it's saying. And I'll go ahead and let's meet inside the Devil's Reward, and I will tell you what it says.
Sounds good.
So, how's it going?
Y'all come here often?
I do come here.
But
But yeah.
Too often.
Wait, are me and Octavius, is Aiden and Octavius still out in the night after? Am I still over that guy's body?
Yeah, this
Better
is
believe it.
what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Okay.
Wonder where Sa'ana is in all this. She probably just ran away.
I don't doubt it. She hasn't done anything useful.
Don't
Gotta
tip
get out of there
her.
while you can.
Don't tip her?
No, tempt. Like temptations.
Her to what? Do nothing?
No.
I guess
It's
that
a
would
waste.
be non-beneficial to us.
You are trying to poke a bear while she is potentially stealth around me.
All right, I am
What do you
back.
think I'm gonna? I'm a diplomat. What do you think I'm gonna do to you?
What kind of bear were
No.
you talking about poking?
The Taggart bear.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
So, with that, we have. I would say that's the main thing that catches your eye, Dominique. And then Rand, you were looking outside. There is still a fair amount of light from torches and things like that, but you see that the majority of people have started to disperse from the area roundabout. And you get the sense that there's, at least for the time, there is at least less unrest in this area. You get the sense that whatever Octavius had done was probably to some extent a band-aid. It quelled them, or at least quelled the their leaders' fervor, but at the same time, seeing essentially their God made manifest, you imagine that the recourse may be greater, and it might instill further or greater devotion and or desire to purge the Weavers.
That did cross Rand's mind after we had made that plan that we would just stoke the flames of their zealotry even farther by doing this.
Thought that was the idea.
What?
Come on, Rand. No, this is out of world Jake talking. Sorry.
You're good.
I would fill Matron Tesselin in on what we saw and what she's going to have to be prepared for, like what they look like, and just that they're calling themselves the Children of the Night now, and Bill Brogan appears to be their leader. I would let her know like what our plan was, and that it seemed, at least for now, that they probably bought it. But yeah, just so that they're prepared for what lies ahead, and that is enemy number one.
There's a brief pause, and she says, "I agree completely. In fact, I think that in time it may be prudent to take things to their doors, to their home.
Couldn't agree more.
There's something that they hide in their chapels and the churches. At least in one of them. We've known it's there for a while. But whatever it is the only thing that, in my opinion, staved off the king's wrath from them. It is the only reason why he kept them around.
But you see now what we've done, Major Tasselin. We now have a legitimate reason to get rid of them. This is an unprecedented opportunity.
I couldn't agree more. Give me a couple days, and we will see if we might be able to provide you with more soldiers. Things that will be able to aid in our ending of them.
Of course. And if you could spread the word of this recent incident that they had, that would help. I believe that, especially now with what's happened, the people will turn against them even more.
Let us hope so.
Indeed.
Alright. With that, let's go ahead and head over to Sa'ana, Aiden, Octavius. Sa'ana, Octavius, and Aiden. You are outside, or I would assume that you're still, in a similar place. You're right, probably either on one of the bridges or on the opposite end of the river, as people have begun to disperse, and at least for now, things are quieter.
Where are Octavius and Aiden?
Octavius went down the building already, and he started heading to the, what was the name of the place that Sa'ana told us to go?
Oh yes, it was the Silver Stag.
The Silver Stag. So Octavius is headed towards the Silver Stag.
And where is Aiden while Octavius is doing that?
I hope Octavius didn't just abandon me while I'm drugged out over this man's body.
Oh my gosh.
Octavius
said, alright, job done.
I mean, he's on a high right now,
okay, so
you know?
Aiden is over there. I would go ahead and make a perception check, Octavius.
Is this like a perception check to see if my conscience is whispering to me?
No, this is a perception check to... I'm not even going to bother rolling. Okay.
13.
Sa'ana will kind of slip out of the darkness and say, "Where are you going, Octavius?"
Oh, well, I believe you told me to go to the Silver Stag.
I believe I also told you to go immediately. You had other plans, and... She looks at the lack of people in the square and says, "It appears to have worked out quite well. But I see no need for you to carry on with old plans. Come, let us check on Aiden."
Oh.
I don't actually know what my character... What has this drug done to me?
What actually... Do we see Aiden where he's at?
Am I still stealthed? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. So I remember stealthing
I wouldn't have seen anything. I wouldn't have seen anything. I went the opposite direction, so the building would have been covering the spot where Aiden...
Oh, you probably would not have seen anything.
Hence, Octavius says, "Oh, like, what?"
So, Aiden, as you... all that happens, everything that you saw, everything you did, probably happened in the course of maybe 12 seconds. It happened extraordinarily quickly. And right now, I would say you're standing over the body of sorry, my brain just died for a second. Over Harvale. So you're just standing over his body with your hand kind of outstretched.
Well,
Is he
am
still
I
stealth?
lucid?
I would say
am I
that
stealthed?
I would say that you were briefly. Why don't we go ahead and do this? go ahead and make another stealth check for me, because you. I would say the action of you doing this probably broke your stealth.
Oh, my question is, how bright is the light where I'm at?
I would say it's probably dim light.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to take a -10, but 26.
Okay. Do either of you want to roll a perception check to see if you'd see him?
Before that, Octavius is going to say, well, I mean, I figure we're one to, follow the direction of our fearless leader. Wouldn't he just be on his way? We could wait here for him.
Do we see... Okay, so we can't see Aiden, but we can see the body of what's-his-bucket?
I would say that Aiden, essentially that stealth is him taking him out, realizing what he did, and kind of maybe being a bit spooked or something like that. Essentially,
we didn't
took
see
the
him.
time.
We didn't see him in his
Yeah,
stealth.
I would say you didn't see him, and he took a moment to hide himself once again.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm kind of concerned that this guy is dead, so I want to make a heal check, and if that breaks my stealth, so be it.
I would say that would break your stealth. Go ahead and make your health check, your heal check.
Because I'm probably concerned that I don't know what I did. So I'm a bit concerned that he's dead.
So as you do a heal check, Saana, you see Aiden kind of merge out of the shadows, almost out of the ground itself, it seems. And as you place your Aiden, as you place your hand on them, he's breathing just fine. You kind of feel for a pulse. Honestly, it seems like he's asleep.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, well, then I will probably step back a little bit and try to find... Is there any cover for concealment so I don't have to take a -10?
Yeah, there are a couple places, within about 20, 30 feet of you that you could probably just duck behind if you wanted.
Alright, well, I am going to go duck behind and, try to figure out what to do next, because that was weird. So I'm gonna make another stealth check as I try to slip back and compose myself.
I'm not even going to bother rolling stealth or perception. I assume that...
I rolled it too.
Okay, fine. I will... That is at least worth rolling. Yeah, I'm not rolling high today, so... I would still approach... I would have seen him moving away from the body, obviously, so I'm going to go check the body.
Yep.
And I don't know if you want me to roll, but I presume I would be able to tell about the same thing that he did, that he's asleep.
Are you just walking up normally? Am I going to see you do this?
I'm not trying to stealth. It's not... I don't have cover. So,
okay. So I would see you.
Yes.
Alright, I'm going to walk up slowly.
Octavius, I presume you're staying with me, or are you lagging behind?
I'll stay with you, and I should clarify, I've already done an outfit change
Okay.
at this point.
Okay.
While stealthed, I'm going to take off the disguise that I had as just an ordinary person of whatever group to fit in, and I am going to look like myself with a coat and stuff, and I'm not coming out of stealth, but as I approach you, I'm going to put a voice in front of you, almost close to the body, that sounds like me, and I'm going to say, I didn't kill him. I don't know why he's like this. And then I'm going to slowly approach and meet you at the body, unstealthed, and look at him.
Do either Saana or Octavius want to make a heal check?
I mean, if you'd like to, Octavius, you can go ahead. Yeah, I mean, I can if you'd like, but...
Octavius just bends down, just says, He beheld God herself and fell to the earth.
I'm actually not sure that's the case, Octavius.
I'm going to laugh slightly as you say that.
He had this potion, and for some reason I drank it. I don't know why.
Do you have the vial?
I will take the vial out of my pocket and hold it out. And wait. Before I do that, I have a question. Does this vial look similar to the one that I picked up outside of the ship?
It looks identical.
Oh.
May I see it?
I will shakily hand it over to Saana.
Can I make a craft alchemy check to try and identify what I can about the vial and the past contents?
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, I can't go above a 5 today. Okay. 16.
Because the vial's empty, the only remnants that you kind of get is a faint odor, which is that of, it's kind of a floral scent.
Am I familiar with it at all? Have I ever smelt it before?
You can go ahead and do a knowledge nature check.
No. I have not.
No. just no.
Are either of you familiar with potions or interesting
I can tell you that
drugs of the area?
Give me 1 second. Out of character, give me 1 second.
Yeah.
And did Aiden say that he drank it out loud? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I said I couldn't stop myself from drinking it. Okay. Saana, what I saw when I drank this potion was like another world. I could see the souls, not just of this man, but of the crowd, of everybody, it seemed like. And the only thing I could think to do is to repair the damage I saw on this man's soul. I don't know how I did it. I don't even know really why I did it. It just seemed like it was the thing to do. And I was afraid I had killed him or something. But this potion is not an ordinary potion. I haven't been able to identify it, and it looks remarkably similar to something I've seen before.
You said you were compelled to drink it?
Yes, and I don't know why. I haven't quite figured that out. Can I actually do a knowledge roll to sense of... Because after I come to from the will thing, can I identify what was the thing that... What happened to me? Is there a roll I can do? A knowledge roll?
Actually, I just realized... Can I make an appraise check to determine if this is a magical item? As long as I get a DC... It's a DC 25 plus the item's caster level. And I can determine if it's a magical potion.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Go ahead and make an appraise check.
Finally. Okay, as long as the caster level is 8 or less, then I got it.
Yeah, so it definitely is. So you definitely know it's magical. What else do you get to know with beating his DC?
I believe for that part, it's just whether or not it's magical. Oh, no, never mind. A second. Okay. DC 20 is to see if it's magical, and then 25 plus the caster level check is to know its properties. So let me roll again.
Okay.
You see Octavius writing.
Is the caster level 4 or less, or is it higher than that?
It is higher.
Okay. This is certainly magical to some extent, though I'm uncertain of its properties. Octavius, you seem to have a knack for magic of some sort. Are you able to read magical auras or detect magical entities?
You see Octavius writing in his book.
Octavius.
Aiden, I would say that you could make a knowledge, either a knowledge nature check or a knowledge arcane check to get an understanding of what potentially came over you.
knowledge arcane or knowledge nature?
Yeah, so you can do either one. Go ahead, Octavius, while he's rolling.
Both of mine are the same, so... Oh, wow.
Nice.
Right, 26.
Very good. So, a couple things kind of... which one did you roll? Did you roll arcane or nature?
Nature.
Okay, so you know of certain flowers and certain plants that will use sweet smells or a powerful kind of aroma. Even you are aware of certain pheromones that even animals give off that attract mates and things like that. This probably has a similar property. Maybe not the mate aspect of it, but there's almost an undeniable carnal piece of you that really kind of drove you to it.
So the potion itself did this to me.
Exactly. It was less of a compulsion. Like compulsion of magic kind of almost overrides your understanding and your will. This was almost something deep within yourself, and you chose it, but you almost feel like it was, a separate piece of yourself, something almost bestial that caused you to want to drink it.
Okay, so my question is, my next question: what do I know about Sayana as far as like notoriety, or do I need to make a knowledge local roll to?
Go ahead and make a knowledge roll, local check, and this is just how much you've interacted with Sayana and how much you know about her.
14.
So you would know that she is the head diplomat or one of the head diplomats of the city. Her primary role has been specifically, making peace in between different guilds, factions, as well as kind of bartering deals with a lot of people within the city. She, in many ways, was the king's liaison on internal affairs, and
so she worked for the king, essentially, right? Is that what you said?
Heavily, and you would know that a lot of the order and peace, for the most part, was won because of Sayana's wit and her ability to persuade.
Okay, so the king trusted her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna move in close.
I hope so.
Well, I mean, the general knowledge. I'm trying to figure out if I want to trust her. So, I'm gonna move in close to Sayana, and I'm gonna look very cautious. Aiden looks very cautious, and it takes a sleight of hand check to put things in this cloak. I don't know if I need one to take things out, but I'm just gonna roll it anyways. I should be able to make it. Yeah, it's a 5+ too. So I'm gonna slowly reach into my cloak and cautiously bring out the sealed vial that looks identical to that one. And I'm gonna tell Sayana, from what I understand about this potion, is that the smell of it, the open smell of it, can compel someone to drink it. And when they do, I can't even really describe what it does to them. And I'm a bit worried that this potion was the cause of whatever snake that was wrapped around this guy's soul to be there to begin with. And now that we have some here, we can maybe figure out some more about it. And
you hear Octavius say,
With
the serpent, and then he starts writing again.
I'm trying to talk quietly. I don't know if I said whisper, but I moved in close. So make a perception. I'm trying to whisper this.
Watch me nat 20 your mouth.
Octavius just leaning in right there.
I'm gonna nat 20 your mouth.
Use a hero point.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna be back.
Oh, I love it. I just love the phrase. I'm gonna nat 20 your mouth.
All right, I think Taggart had to go somewhere, so we're gonna wait to see what Sayana says.
Out of curiosity, so I probably should have said this at the very beginning, but everyone does start out the game with with one hero point. So, I mean, Octavius, if you want to use your hero point to hear what they've said, I would say that you certainly can.
Sorry.
Oh, no.
Okay, so as
Wait,
as Aiden is showing me this second vial, can I make a second appraise check to determine what the properties of it might be now that I have another opportunity to look at it more fully?
Absolutely. Now that you have something like basically a full sample, you absolutely can.
I'm gonna whisper, "Don't open it, please. Don't open it."
No, I'm absolutely not opening it. Okay. Goodness gracious, is that the same? That is the exact same roll I got before. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Goodness.
Wait,
Okay.
can I assist this? Can I see?
Absolutely, you can. I would say that you can.
Okay.
So you need to do an appraise check, and you need to get above a 10.
Okay. Come on, baby. 16.
Nice.
Sure. Enough. So is
The
a
DC,
is a
the
31...
DC was 30.
Okay, sweet. So
The DC was 30.
what are the magical properties that I can discern from this?
So the magical properties that you can discern from it are, let me.
Can I propose an intelligence check for me to at least be able to tie it in some way to weaving based on his description?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I would say that you would, even with the appraise check, you'd be able to grab that as well.
Recognize that?
I
Okay.
want to double check something real quickly.
Go ahead.
Say that this is most commonly a type of enchantment school. You would say, get the sense that this is at least I would say the school of magic is probably enchantment would be the closest. Although there are pieces of it that are, there's almost an element of transmutation to it, weirdly enough. It's almost as if the two schools were almost woven together themselves.
Okay, while this is going on, while Sayana's doing the appraise, wherever is Octavius within 40 feet of me?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm within 4 feet of you.
Just had like,
Okay, well, behind Octavius in a gravelly voice, make sure if you are writing this for your play that you are not so descriptive of my appearance as to give away my identity. You know what they say, curiosity killed the cat.
Stop, please. I'm making you much more attractive in this.
If you two don't mind, I'm trying to concentrate. I'm going to cover my mouth and my nose. I'm going to very carefully uncork.
I'm backing up very quickly as I see.
Very carefully
you do this.
uncork the vial and get just a single drop out and recork it.
I'm covering my face as I back away.
And then I'm going to unwrap my face and taste the drop.
okay, awesome. As you taste it, there is just this burst of.
Can I make a knowledge alchemy or a craft alchemy check alongside this to kind of just, as it's
absolutely.
happening, just analyze what's going on to myself?
Yeah. So
Okay, 24.
You get a sense of like this floral sense, almost like whenever you drink like rose water or something like that. There's this intensely floral scent that kind of is smooth and sweet. That kind of just almost, even how small it is, kind of coats your tongue.
Very earthy flavor.
And it's extremely pleasant to the taste. So as you do, you get this weird sense of disassociation, and you feel very much outside of your body. And as you have this feeling, you briefly, it's almost a split second of a moment, you notice that you almost feel as if you're being watched by, hundreds of different people around you all at the same time. And then in a blink of an eye, it's gone. That feeling is gone, and what you assumed were other people just surrounding you is gone. What you would discern from tasting it with your craft alchemy is that whatever this substance is, it is extremely powerful. The feeling that you get is intensely euphoric, as well as some other. You absolutely can tell that it's tied to weaving, and even though you don't have much experience with weaving itself, you are able to kind of glean that, given enough, even you could do some pretty amazing or terrible things with it.
I'd make a perception check as this fades. I got a 33 to determine, though you said that I almost felt like there were entities surrounding me.
Yeah.
Before that fades, can I tell what they were tied to or what they were associated with?
Yeah, absolutely. So you got a 33 perception?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm looking at what are they nearby? Do they seem to be attached to anything? That sort of thing.
So that's the thing that seems strangest. They don't seem to be attached to really anything. I will say with your 33, you would notice that as in your brief look around, something foreign or even just weirdly tainted has attached itself to Aiden.
Did it resemble the serpent that he had described previously?
It did.
Aiden.
Yes.
What did you say was around this man when you purified him, as it were?
A snake. It left him. As I fixed his soul, it left him.
We need to go see Rand. He'll be at
Why?
the sanitarium.
Has something happened? Have you figured something out about this potion?
Perhaps.
Delightful.
Octavius, can you grab this man? We need to make arrangements for him. Aiden, are you well enough to walk?
I think so. I feel Wait, do I feel fine?
You feel fine.
Can I make a heal check on him?
Yeah,
And I'm
absolutely.
looking for anything out of the ordinary. Most specifically, I'm going to make a heal check, but I'm almost inclined, if I don't see anything at first, to take another drop of the potion and examine him again.
Okay.
With a 31 heal.
Wow, that's a big heal.
So as you're examining him physically, nothing seems entirely off.
What about his pulse, blood pressure, things such as that? Sorry,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I'm getting to that. So as you kind of look or kind of examine him, there a lot of the signs are fairly normal. What you do notice is that around his eyes, there seems to be an additional black ring around one of them. And that's what kind of stands out. I would say his heartbeat is maybe a little bit faster than normal, but it's not so much so that it's not within normal ranges, if that makes sense.
I'm going to... something hard is going to push against your knee right at the point that a doctor usually hits to check your reflexes. I'm going to ask you, Aiden, do you feel that?
You feel normal.
Stick out your tongue, please.
Alright, I will.
I presume I don't see anything different, but I continue that on, and then we need to.
You
go
do
see...
actually see something inside his mouth.
Is it his
As
uvula?
It is his uvula. You see a little, almost a little bit of, little bits of purple residue that kind of has lingered inside his mouth.
Does it look like poison, or does it look like residue from the potion?
Looks like more residue from the potion.
Okay.
Octavius picks up, I need to actually say his name, Harville, by Sana's request.
Thank you, Octavius. Aiden, come. We must go to the sanitarium.
Okay.
Behold... Oh.
I was just gonna tell... You're making me a bit concerned, Sana. What's wrong?
I'm going to make a diplomacy check, and I'm going to say... I'm not quite certain yet, but there's nothing to be worried about until we can see Rand. He'll know what to do about this fellow here, and what to make of that potion that you imbibed. With a 35 diplomacy, I'm trying to...
I'm guessing that's against my sense motive.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure why.
So, she is telling the truth. I would say...
Yeah, that's true. You're not bluffing me.
I'm not bluffing you.
So I would say as a whole, take it how it is.
Yeah, I'm more rolling to show how diplomatic she's being in the way that she says it. That she's not coming across worried or anything like that. She's very sure in her words and very stern in how she says it. It's very commanding. You don't have anything to worry about. All we need to do is go see Rand, and we can figure out what to do from there. Whether it's about you, or the potion, or this fellow here.
Okay.
There's nothing for you to be concerned about at this time.
Okay.
All right.
Octavius, he actually kind of nudges Aiden and kind of throws up Harville's body a little bit, kind of does a little bounce with it, and says, "Behold, faith, smacking at the pulpit by day, draped in the arms of another man by night. All day, wouldn't you say?"
I'm not sure I know his type yet, but we will see.
Oh, come now. You haven't heard of any controversies of religious leadership in a city.
Maybe I have.
All right. So, for sake of brevity, let's go ahead and we'll say that you meet up with the group. I would say, as a whole, your trek to the sanitarium is relatively uneventful. You would see on your way there the periodic passerby that you would recognize as members of the Circle of the Flame, but most of them seem to be kind of more scurrying away from the area rather than doing anything aggressive. As you approach the sanitarium itself is this immense black and red brick building. There is a fairly ornate, beautiful wrought iron fence that circles the entire grounds. Outside the grounds are some very well kept both hedges and statues that show. You can tell that a lot of these hedges, the plants, seem to have been almost woven into these beautiful and elaborate shapes. You have shapes of various mythical creatures like dragons and various other things that seem to make the area both come alive and also feel a bit foreboding. As you enter, Rand, on the other side of the window, you see 3 figures approaching the front door of the sanitarium. And before long,
recognize them?
Huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say you absolutely recognize who they are.
Okay.
They're the 3 companions that you've had before. So, as you all reunite, what do you do?
I motion to Octavius, who's carrying what's the man's name again?
Harville.
I motion to Octavius carrying Harville. We've dealt with Harville in the crowd. It appears that you were able to make it here without issue, though things did not quite go as I had planned. It does not seem to be against our designs.
I thought everything went according to plan.
What was that, Rand?
As he looks over at Harville, he says, "Alive. I'm impressed."
You shouldn't be. But either way, we can decide what to do with him later. As for this, and I'd hold up the vial, this is something that Aiden had procured that was apparently on Harville as well. It appears to have something to do with weaving. Perhaps something even to augment the powers of a weaver. I toss it to you. Can you tell me anything about it? Are you familiar?
I am, yes.
It appears as if Harville imbibed a portion of one before he was dealt with. Do you know what he might have been using it for?
Well, with something this strong, and considering somebody in his fanatical zeal, I suppose you could easily alter the souls of those under you to malleably fit your designs. But that's just my theory on what he was doing with it. But I think it fits nonetheless.
Do you have a moment, Rand? I motion for you to follow me to the side.
I follow.
I would whisper in your ear, I believe there is something amiss with Aiden. I've examined him, but I think it is weaving related. Would you mind checking him? I can assist if necessary, though my skills are of a more mundane nature.
Is his soul what I should take a look at, or?
I believe so, yes. He had described, after imbibing the liquid, taking some sort of serpent from Harford, and I believe it may have latched onto him, at least partially. Something is off. Just a moment, I need to grab something for Erica.
Okay, perfect.
Well, while they're speaking, I want to make sure that Aiden doesn't hear the contents of the conversation, since Son is clearly trying to be discreet. So Octavius rests his paw on Aiden's shoulder and says, "Darling, I neglected to say you were, for a moment at least, you were marvelous back there. What you said, the way you described it, of being in another world and seeing into the souls of everyone. Truly inspirational. Your performance fell flat after that, but for a moment you were a star. I want you to know that."
It certainly didn't feel like a star. I felt very terrified about what happened. I have never experienced something like that.
And Octavius turns and he grabs you by the fabric, and he says, That's theater, man. That's the feeling when you're in the light."
While this is happening, I have a question. Perception. Can I see any loose valuables or anything on Octavius? Anything? Oh my god! Really?
You can.
Never mind. Just never mind.
You can nary notice the ring on my finger and the brooch on my coat, good sir.
But I'm gonna leave the nat 1 perception and just let it go. I was gonna do something else, but I don't want to risk anything with a nat 1 floating around.
You are too busy trying to make sure that I'm not about to kiss you or hurt you right now. You are so appalled by my sudden artistic outburst.
I'm back, by the way.
Oh, perfect.
I would ask Anna. I would say, okay, is this something that I should keep secret from him?
I don't know yet. It sounds as if the potion may have taken his will for a moment. Further than that, I cannot say. I'm not familiar with weaving to this extent. Neither what is possible nor what the risks might be for something such as this.
Okay. So, Rand, what are you going to do?
So, okay, how covertly can I look inside of somebody's soul? I suppose I should ask. Like, is that something like I have to be in like physical contact with them, or?
I would say that it is something that with your background, you're adept enough that if you're within about 30 feet of someone, you can do a basic overview of them. In order to kind of glean more details about them, you'd have to touch them, but you could get a general sense of them just by looking at them.
Okay, I'll just do that appraisal then.
I'll do a heal check on him again, and you can just come and I will show you what I see, and then you can kind of look at it with a different eye, and we'll go from there. Or I can do that in character. I can show you what I've seen, but perhaps you can look at it more deeply, if you don't mind. I presume you have to be close to some extent in order to gain any detailed information.
I'll take a look at him.
Do you want me to roll another heal check, or just show him what I found with the previous one?
I'd say that with your heal check, you could assist. And then go ahead and... Oh, you already did your crack weaving. Okay, perfect.
Are you guys coming close to me?
Yes.
Okay. Whoa. I'm going to stick out my hands. I have been...
No, I'm not coming close. This is this is as like I'm still talking to Sa'ana, and I'll just like shoot a glance over at Aiden.
Okay.
As Octavius is being like really weird with them.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, so you look at the essence of who Aiden is. Aiden is... Aiden, why don't you describe, like 3 key pieces of what what's his name? Sorry, Rand sees. Like just key elements of what you'd say are your character traits. What are some things that kind of would stick out to him?
Well, I've already showed you a picture of what he looks like. He's not in any disguise right now, but he's a medium build, pretty ordinary. He looks like he's maybe in his early 20s, well kept. But I mean, he's wearing a cloak, black cloak. It doesn't.
I think he's talking more like personality-wise, isn't he?
Oh, exactly. Personality. So he can see personality?
He would see... No, I wouldn't say he gets to see... He would see your secrets, but he would see kind of, what are some things that, make up who you are, if that makes sense.
Oh. Okay, give me a second.
INTJ.
Well, if MBTI, well, maybe, actually. Maybe even, I don't know. But I would say, he seems relatively intelligent. He seems like he's had a, a more solitary life than he would have wanted, ideally. You might notice, I don't know how much you would see, I don't know exactly how deeply to do this. Would fear...
I think you can go as deep as you'd like.
Okay. You might see he has a deep fear of... No, I'm not going to go there. I will basically say that you will see someone who probably has spent his life by himself. He has used his skills maybe to be a bit intimidating to those around him. Very secretive. I guess that's about it that I would say.
Okay. On top of that, the other thing that you see, and it's something that, even to some extent, maybe invades and pierces the overall intelligence, is you see this deep, inky blackness that has kind of started to wrap its way around his soul.
Have I ever seen something like this before?
I would say as a whole this is fairly new.
I would give Sa'an a concerned look, and then I would start heading towards Aiden.
Here's where you would see us coming towards you, Aiden.
Well, can I do a perception check to see his concerned face?
You can do a sense motive.
I would shoot a concerned face at Sa'ana, but then I wouldn't keep it on my face.
Okay.
Bluff, 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 bluff.
Well, how close are you to me?
1,000 feet.
Like a day's walk. No, I don't know.
Probably 20
Do you
feet.
visibly
I don't know.
look like you're about
Maybe
to,
like 15 feet away, 20 maybe.
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't care. All right.
Like far enough where like we would make sure that you couldn't hear us at least. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not stealthily approaching you by any means.
Darting from desk to desk.
Hand motions.
Well, I originally thought you guys were going to do like a heel check and physically touch me, and I can tell you, someone like him being touched earlier and then being touched by Octavius, I am pretty much done with being touched right now.
Okay, thanks, Octavius.
Your extroverted battery has been drained. Or rather, your... whatever, you know what I'm trying to say.
I don't think he's an extrovert. I think he's just...
I meant like, as an introvert, your social battery has been drained, so yeah. But anyway.
Alright,
Aiden.
well, continue walking. Yes?
Aiden, I need to examine you again.
Why?
I'm concerned there may be something amiss after you imbibed that potion. Rand will know more. He is versed in the arts of weaving.
After the potion, or... This isn't the snake, is it?
I'm uncertain. I cannot say. Rand must examine you, and I am going to assist him.
Hold
Hold out
on.
your hand, please.
Reluctantly, Aiden will give him his right hand.
Okay.
Okay, I'm
Go ahead.
assisting, so go ahead.
I was just gonna say, go ahead and make your rolls.
I will be back in a moment.
As Rand touches you, you notice his hand is extremely soft. Like it's crazy.
Super soft yet firm and strong. Muscle.
Alright, has it
Very
been
good skincare.
Would you say it's been a minute yet of
I have
conversation?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna sense motive to read Rand's surface thoughts, or attempt to do it.
Okay.
It's a 13 against his bluff.
All right.
Roll
Go
a
ahead and
bluff,
make a bluff
Rand.
check.
Oh my god! Your bluff is that high? Why?
Sorry about that.
Okay, I cannot read. All right, whatever.
Rand would. Okay, yeah. Oh, right. My craft check. This is. Okay, you know what? There
Can't
we
you
go.
just take a 10? Like,
Okay, yeah, but I might not break through enough. I'm willing to take the gamble here.
Wait,
So you touch. You are able to touch into his soul, and as you start to maneuver around, you're not able to affect his soul per se, but you are able to grasp whatever this thing is, and in a brief moment, you take hold of it, and it starts to wrestle with you, and as you yank and pull, you rip whatever this thing is out of him. And to the onlookers, the rest of you, you see Rand grasp his hand and then almost yanking at a toxin out something from his hand. You see this oily serpent being pulled from Aiden's hand and starts to flip and flicker. Go ahead and make. I need you to make a reflex saving throw, please.
I'm gonna back away. By the way,
do I see this happen?
Octavius looks a little closer.
Can I see the serpent thing?
Absolutely.
Alright, is it out of me?
Yes.
I am backing away.
Okay. So as you pull it away, it slips and flicks out of your hand. It's too slippery for you to hold on to, but just barely. As it runs out of your hand, I would say that you have one more chance. Go ahead and attempt to do either an attack roll or a grapple.
is this thing substantial or is it ephemeral?
It seems to have a physical presence. All of you can see it.
Can I? Is there enough time for me to strike it with something?
Yeah, you can attempt to.
Okay.
May I?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, could I weave it into something, perhaps, or would I have to catch it first?
I would say that you can certainly try. I'd say without touching it, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but you certainly can try. Yeah.
Wait, is this thing a vermin or an animal? Actually, I'd have to make a knowledge
Probably
check for that.
neither.
I would say no.
Okay.
So I'm going to, if I have time, and if you want me to make a check for this, I'll make the check. But I want to draw my sickle and try and impale it, and
Okay.
I'm going to also attempt to use what is inside the sickle as I do so.
I'm going to when Saana does that, though, I'm going to say wait. And is there anything near me? Is there anything on like a desk that I can pick up really quick, or?
There is a decanter on the desk. There is also, you notice that there in the room is a couple of the large armors. There are I'm trying to think of other things. There's like the room's filled with books. There is a rug on the ground that it is on. Those are probably the things that are immediately in the area that kind of come to your mind.
Okay, may I do the grapple to try to stuff it into the decanter?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make your grapple check.
If he misses this, I'm going for it.
Nice. Fantastic. Yeah, so without an issue, it slips out of your hand, rolls onto the ground. You quickly grab it and force it into the decanter. And you're doing this with weaving, right?
Yes, correct. And I would try to seal it with weaving afterwards, after I got it, seal the top of it.
Okay. you are able to almost make this glass cage for it as it kind of circles around inside the cage, and you now have it.
I'm going to make a sleight of hand check so nobody notices me fully draw my weapon, and I'll put it back. 34.
Okay.
So.
Okay, sounds good. And then Rand, you can add to your inventory snake? Question mark.
Why does it have to be snakes?
I will do just so. Is there? Actually, no. I'll just turn to the matron, and I'll just say, "Do you make anything from this, matron?"
I guess I gotta make a quick roll. There is, a brief pause where she says, "I have no idea what this is. This is truly disturbing." Okay. Out of curiosity, Aiden, what are you thinking right now?
This thing looks about as close to a critter, and yeah, I am kind of terrified and don't want to go near it. And a little bit also that was in me, and then I probably want to do a little internal soul searching if I can do any sort of check to see if it affected me in any way. I don't know if there's a way to introspectively look inside myself to see if there's any damage that's been done.
Yeah, please go ahead and make a roll for me.
Oh, of what? Wounding or
Go ahead and
Knowledge
make a
self check.
knowledge self? That should be a knowledge.
I hope you put points into it.
Oh. Maybe a self mastery.
So knowledge what? Or weaving or what?
It would be we do a knowledge weaving because you are evaluating
Knowledge weaving or craft weaving? I don't have a knowledge
craft weaving. I apologize.
22.
You do a brief look of the state of your soul. Things seem to be fairly. Nothing seems to be affected. Not really.
So what did this? Anyways, nope. Go ahead. No, that's all I'm thinking is that this is weird and gross.
Okay. Are any of you going to do anything else? You previously had talked about attempting to head over to the shipwreck in order to see if you might be able to find the princess or if she potentially was there.
Yes, real quick. I would like to see. Is there anything that can I do a weaving check to try to maybe identify what this snake consists of, or yeah?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. Oh, awesome! You're rolling really well tonight. So, as you, there are a couple things that stick out to you. The first is that there's an element of almost foreignness to it. It almost seems as if this is something that is not native to this plane of existence. That's the first thing, and this is especially the case because of its ability seeming to be able to be potentially immaterial and material. The other thing that kind of sticks out to you as you're looking into this is both a mixture of pure, utter hatred and loathing that almost seeps from this creature, as well as an element of almost pure and utter charisma and persuasion. If you were to, evaluating it on a level of weaving, evaluating on a level of understanding it, what it truly is, this is something that, if you were to bind it specifically to someone's soul, you would be binding someone with, some of the most intense hatred and loathing you've ever witnessed.
I see. I will stow the decanter.
Okay. Is anyone going to do anything else?
I would like to make an additional heal check on Aiden now that this is the case. Now that this has been dealt with.
Absolutely.
I would communicate to the party as well. I would tell everybody that.
Wow, thank you. That's a big heal check.
He's all better.
He
cures his cancer.
I mean, on a serious note, does he have any injuries that need to be mended?
No. Okay. He is in absolute perfect health. You notice that the ring
wasn't
around his
before.
eye.
He is now.
He is now.
I just killed your father of
the
cancer.
ring around his eye is gone. He looks perfectly fine.
While Sayana is doing that, do I notice that Sayana has that vial on her? Do you have the vial on you?
Rand, did you give it back to me, or because I
would have. Oh, that vial.
Yes.
Yeah, no. If you would have wanted it back, yeah, I would have just given it back.
Didn't ask for it back. I gave it to you. I tossed it to you and said, "Do you know anything about this?" Okay.
Okay, never mind then.
Do you ask about it?
No, I was just seeing if you had it on you. I was gonna try to I didn't know if it was passed back. I would have seen that, so no, I'm not gonna ask about it.
Well, seeing me like rip that like black, oily, shadowy snake out of her hand, would Aiden have any reaction to that?
I stepped back.
I want to hear that reaction.
I didn't have no. Aiden does not have a vocal reaction to that. He's kind of silently in terror.
DM, I would like to roll a perception check, but it is based on Octavius's ability, Scent.
Yeah.
All right.
You know that meme that's like blah blah happens. It's like write that down. Write that down. That's Octavius.
Do I smell his
Just
fear?
doing tic-tac-toe.
With a 9, it smell fear.
You don't. But you do smell dinner.
He smells what?
Dinner.
Oh.
So you don't really smell his fear. Were you wait? Out of curiosity, were you intending on using your perform check for that?
No, you can't. There's no perform check for sense. Actually, there might be.
He would know.
I don't know. There might be one. I never picked it. Actually, there might. I think there is one. Hold on.
For perception?
There is a perform for perception, maybe.
Maybe, but I couldn't, so.
Okay.
I'll ask Aiden. Do you feel any different?
No, not really. I just know that there was some weird snake inside me, apparently, but I felt fine before, and I feel fine after. I have no idea what that thing is.
Well, I'm surprised that this thing didn't immediately turn you into a monster. Whatever this thing is, it's serious. This thing could corrupt anybody.
Well, then I'm very lucky to have had you here.
All right. With that, with Aiden cleansed of whatever this thing is, what are you guys going to do now? You have a couple of things that you potentially could do.
Iona. Actually, hold on.
Erica?
I need to go bring some tea to Erica. I'll check on her, make sure she's alive still.
Okay. Did Kayla, did you want to do anything?
Main thing is once we got away from the woman we were talking to earlier, I would have whispered to Rand what I read in that message earlier that you told me in the chat. So, do you mind if I just, like, message him that?
Yeah, go ahead and send me a message about that.
Okay, cool.
And as we're leaving, I would like to tell the statue lady, if you ever need anything, I'm willing to swap things that you want to see in here for things that I want to know.
Say that one more time? Sorry. I didn't
I want to offer her, like, distractions from her time as a statue for information that I want to know. Yeah.
I may take you up on that, my dear lady. What information would you like?
I don't know the questions yet, but once I know the people, I should be able to come back and ask them.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Oh, wait, hold on. May I?
Yeah, please.
So Octavius didn't see this talking statue until just now. And so he goes up to her and says, my lady, is this a figment of my imagination, or dost thou speak?
I speak and am as real as you. Although, maybe I have a few more lives than you do.
Oh. And you hear a little growl from Octavius. The work of weaving, I'm sure.
Absolutely. But not without its price. Boredom is a terrible price to pay for immortality.
Oh. If I could have my theater built around you, then I'd have to go back in time and change a few things, but I must ask you. I assume you've been alive for very long. Tell me, what does it mean to be alive?
He ponders for a second. And she says, to really know life. To change the lives of others. Irreparably. Unmistakably. Missile. It is to affect someone's life so intimately that they are not able to recover. That is what it means to live.
And Octavius leans a little closer and speaks softer. And what message would you be willing to transfer to me that I, as your proxy, may continue this work of yours, but to a broad audience in theatrical presentation?
Let me think on that. Let me ponder if I am to have my words immortalized. I'd like to have them to be well thought out.
And I don't expect today you can't rush art.
How very true.
But I don't mind sharing in the glory of such a work. To seek the thing that you seek. And to wield that power. It is gratifying, isn't it?
Never know.
I mean... And
she laughs a bit and she says, "If you want to know the extent of lives, I'd recommend you go downstairs. There are some wonderful and terrifying experiments that were done there. Some I even did myself, back when I was alive. More so.
Like you, I'll ponder that for a bit. Some things I like left to the imagination. Sometimes the mystery is all the entertainment and fascination I need. Perhaps there are some unanswered questions for you to ponder that could provide a little entertainment through speculation.
What questions would that be?
Well, that's for you to decide. I'm sure you're far more knowledgeable than I am.
You flatter me.
I speak the truth, I'm sure. Well, how old are you? I'm sure not a day over 200, right?
Oh, you're too kind.
But perhaps this is an unfamiliar thing, a mystery yet, for you. And Octavius leans in a little closer. And let's see. I don't know, would anybody be listening in on this conversation?
Yes.
I would love to hear what my matron is saying to old Octavius.
Yeah, I would also be trying to listen in if I could.
I see everyone else trying to listen in,
and everyone else is leaning into.
Yes, if I see everyone
now they know what it's like to be. Now Octavius knows what it's like to have himself around, listening in on everything.
All right, so Octavius, he leans in to whisper, but then he looks behind him and notices everyone looking, and he has a devilish smile on his face, and he says,
I never
"It
said
seems
I was
that
obvious looking. I just said I was looking."
Well, either way, Octavius looks behind, and perhaps the DM will recognize what I'm doing, but Octavius says, I believe that others are privy to this conversation, a thing I did not anticipate. Perhaps I could divulge this some other time.
I never sleep. You're welcome anytime, my little cats.
And with a soft purr, he bows graciously and turns away.
Okay. As you do, you notice that outside, the first little beams of sunlight are starting to kind of eke over the mountains in the distance. Most of you have stayed up for the majority of the night, and your various treks across the city have led into at least the beginning of the morning. It's been a long night, and at least for now, the major threat to this sanctum is over. But the location of the princess, as well as the boiling of the circle of the sun, still seems to be a persistent threat. So, what do you choose to do?
One last thing before we move on, I would tell the matron. Expect an attack at any moment and at any time. Nothing could make the children happier than to see this building razed to the ground.
I've already started to make some precautions. So, I appreciate the warning. Hopefully we'll be ready. I'm sure that if we call upon you, you'd be more than happy to lend aid.
Of course, matron. And I would give a slight bow.
Alright.
And that is all.
Okay. Did anyone else want to do anything?
Well, if there's like some downtime where we're like starting to walk somewhere, or like the tension has cooled down,
absolutely,
I do want to ask the group that was not part of the Octavia Seana group, everyone else, did you guys find anything else about the princess? Was there any information that you guys uncovered about her location, or what happened to her, or what happened to the king? Rand, you can answer because you were with them. And I am talking to you.
Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey.
I will turn to the matron and look at her expectantly, like, does she have any answer for any of those questions you just asked?
I unfortunately don't have much. The only thing that I have been made aware of has been the movements of the circle of flame. Fortunately, I'm bound to this location. The only thing that I might recommend is that when I knew of the King's Daughter, of what I've heard, was when she, at least when she would get lost, there were a couple places that she was known to go. One of them was the Queen's Garden. That was a place in Brightstone that had been specifically not quarantined, but sectioned off. It was a gift from the king to his illustrious and wonderful wife. The other place that she would do is she would frequently pull pranks on the priest of the Circle of the Sun. Specifically, she enjoyed going to the chapel that is in Charter Hall. The district there are places that there's a place of worship there that is frequented, that she would frequently go to play pranks on the priest there. So, if I had any recommendations, I may recommend searching there.
I think me and her will get along. Rand thinks to himself. Thank you, matron. We'll be sure to look there.
But that is, I know nothing of myself, only of potential rumors that have been heard.
It's a better lead than we had. We'll take whatever we can get.
You'd also know this location to be known as the Kindling. So this church location would be known as the Kindling.
And what was the other location?
The other one was the Queen's Garden in Brightstone. I have circled them on the map. So the Queen's Garden is in Brightstone, Charter Hall is the Kindling, and then there is still the potential boat up in the northern area.
I suspect that the Queen's Garden would probably be one of the first places someone would look for someone of the royal family. It seems like a sort of obvious hiding spot for a child, especially if someone were looking for them. The other two seem like places that she might actually be, but I don't know. That's just my theory so far.
Well, the kindling is closest, isn't it? We should probably check there anyways first, I believe.
Okay. Well, out of character, I am a little bit curious. Well, I guess I'm not even out of character. How much do I know about, like, how, like, we sent, Iona Burns sent people to look after the ship, and she didn't send them inside, did she?
If I remember correctly, the instructions were to potentially search out for the princess to go to the ship and to observe. So that being said, they are members of the Watch, and so if they did see the daughter in distress or anything else like that, there's a decent likelihood that they would try and help.
Okay. Well, I was just trying to figure out if there's been enough time where we'd hear back from that or not. I'm trying to figure out what to do next. So I was just trying to how much I would know about this world's law enforcement and how dutiful they were.
It's been probably about 4 hours.
Okay, so not a lot
I would say I want to go ahead and make a knowledge local check since this is these are your people.
I think you'd have to make that for her.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I don't know if she moved to a computer or not. I'm sorry.
I sent her a summary of her character sheet.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
So Iona would understand that the time pressure associated, especially the concern about the only heir of the throne. I would say it is leaning past the time where Iona would probably start getting worried right now that someone hasn't returned yet.
So they haven't returned at all?
No.
Should we go over there and see what's going on?
Well, communicate that to us.
That's what I'm saying to you guys.
Oh, well, I don't know if it's been too long. That's what I was trying to figure out.
It's been a while since I've heard back, and a little bit too much of a long while. Would you guys like me to see what's going on, or should we... I can go alone.
I think it would be wise if we were to go together. Do we have something that we can do with this? And I look at the man who's still unconscious.
Purple?
We could knit him a sweater.
Well, it seems as though maybe his actions were being controlled by this parasitic snake thing.
Controlled or not, we need to contain him at the moment.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I completely forgot about him. Sorry. I would tell the matron of what we did and explain... Well, I guess, Aiden, would you be willing to let her know what happened, what you did?
Sure. Should I say it out loud, or just for the sake of brevity, just say that I did?
Just that you did.
That's for the sake of brevity. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Then I would tell the matron too. We have a unique opportunity here. I don't know if he's still going to continue to support the children, as it were. We can maybe use him against them now. Does anyone else have like a good place where we could hide him, or should we leave him here?
This is a city. I'm sure it has a prison. I'm sure Iona knows where the prisons are.
Well, actually,
Iona is
don't know.
the prison.
Yes. I'm sure I would know where the prison is, honestly, or some form of jail.
Well, I would just ask the matron if we could keep him here.
Absolutely. He should be very much safe within these walls.
Should we bind him, or do you have a makeshift cell or some sort of room that we can lock him in? Or
I'll take him downstairs.
I think he'll be very at home downstairs.
And I would say too, like, let's be careful with how we play our hand here. As I look at the matron. Like looking at Harvale as well.
Of course.
So,
All right.
Like
Okay.
implying like don't kill him. Or anything like that. Like let's be careful with this opportunity. But yeah, anyways, go on.
I was just gonna say, based on what I have just understood from Iona, that it has been a while. The place that they were going to, I've been there, and it is not a place where, if there was nothing going on, and most of the time it seems like nothing would be going on there, that they would not have reported back. It does not make all that much sense that they've been gone this long, considering what it is. So I think we should probably check that out, but I do not want to discount the leads that the matron has given us. So does anyone have any suggestions as to how we approach this? Is everybody dead?
How we approach what? Everything was cutting out for me. I don't know. If it
Oh,
was
I'm
just me.
sorry. No. I was just saying that it doesn't make sense for these guards to have been lost for this long, which means that something is definitely going on at that ship, because it is not a place where I think the criminal mind just hangs out all the time. So I think it probably is of very big interest. I do want to check out the places that the matron has suggested, but her guards may be in trouble as well.
Yes, especially if they were just put there to stand watch. I don't see... Something serious must have happened to either make them engage with somebody and not return, or vice versa. But I agree, it's very, very strange, and I think that would be the best course of action for now, nonetheless.
Okay, where are we currently? Where
As
is
I
it?
look over it.
You were
Sanitary.
currently at the sanitary. Still.
And
Right
that
over
is-
here. In Night Market.
That is a long trek. How long would it take us to get over to the ship?
And probably walking is probably going to take you about 2 hours.
Ooh.
Then we'd best
Okay.
get moving and not walking.
I see it as an opportunity. We have time to plan, and, well, I don't believe I've been well acquainted with the two gentlewomen over here, so I see it as an opportunity. Get to know
Well,
each other a little better.
I will start heading out.
Let's start making our way there.
So you start making your way over there. As the morning starts to become more present, a lot of the dangers, at least of the city, have abated. Although there is almost this tense stillness that resides in the air as you're walking. Octavius, you had mentioned that you wanted to get to know some of your companions. Feel free to ask any questions if you'd like.
And let's see, would Octavius know the exact title of Iona Burns? Like her position in the city guard?
Oh my gosh, it's late. I apologize.
No worries.
So she is the head warden. She is the leader of the. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm forgetting what the
Iona, help us, please.
Ivory.
It is the. Oh my gosh! It is the.
Yeah, there's
My-
the ivory something.
Oh my!
I've been there before, where your brain just farts in the thing.
My brain,
You
my
know it.
brain is just farting, and it's gone. It is gone.
All I remember is Ivory.
Wait.
Oh.
Ivory Soul.
Yes, the Ivory Soul. Oh, she's the head warden of the Ivory Soul. So yes, you know her title. I would say for the most part, she's fairly well known. In fact, the majority of you are fairly well known. I would say the only one the ones who probably would be least known would probably be Aiden, Rand, and Dominique. But even Rand has a fair amount of notoriety among the Weavers, at least. But Octavius is a fairly public figure. Definitely, Saana is an extremely public figure, and on top of that, Iona is well known as well.
Yes, that's true. Dominique does avoid being well known. So anyway, Octavius approaches Iona and Dominique if they're standing close enough. And as they're walking, he says, "Forgive my terrible manners. I've neglected to really make your acquaintance since I was so sidetracked consulting with our other companions. But I would like to amend that right now. I am Octavius Artaud, playwright at the theater here, and I'm very happy to make your acquaintance. Is it Captain Burns? Warden Burns?"
It is Captain Burns.
I actually thought we would make acquaintances much earlier, prior to the king's death even. You may recall an accident that happened at my theater. At least I'd hope it was an accident. Candace. Is that name?
Most of them are people I know.
Sorry, I didn't hear that quite well.
Sorry. I have heard of the accident at your theater, and I know many more, mostly in the people I work with. Most of them are acquaintance too. It is nice to meet your acquaintance, Octavius.
Obviously, this takes precedent right now, but if I can be of any assistance to your investigation, if it happens to continue at a later time. I mean, it was sad to lose 2 actors on 2 nights, on one night, but especially Candace. She meant, well, no one could portray my words so inspirationally as her. So
I'll do what I can, but any crime can be unsolved, unfortunately.
Octavius gives us a nod to the side, has a sad look on his face. But then he turns to Dominique, and he says, "Now, the captain's reputation precedes her. I'm sure she wouldn't appreciate this type of introduction. But you," and he conjures a rose in his hand, and he offers it to Dominique.
Dominique is going to smile and take the rose and say, "Well, thank you very much. It's beautiful. I certainly appreciate such an introduction." And she's going to look at it with a look on her face that seems really endearing, but secretly she's going to be scrutinizing it to make sure nothing's weird with it, or abnormal or threatening. But she wouldn't show that on her face. I'm Dominique. It's very nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. In fact, if I may impose, I don't know anything about you, but I feel like I should. I look at a woman like you, and you make me think of this very city. A beautiful place, especially at night, but with so many mysteries left unturned. And you are like that, a mystery among us, but a beautiful one.
He's going to laugh a little bit and blush and say, well, you're certainly the flatterer. Thank you. But I will say, blending in with the city, so to speak, is kind of my specialty. I very much so value discretion, and that is what the king valued in me too, if you catch my drift.
Sorry, could you repeat the very last part of what you said? I didn't hear that for some reason.
I said discretion is, I value discretion and blending in with the city, and that's something the king valued about me as well, if you catch my drift.
And it's one of the prime characteristics of the city itself, isn't it? Discretion.
Yes,
things
I must
hidden.
agree with that.
Tell me,
Certainly.
I take you as someone who believes what they see. Am I correct? Do you believe what you see?
Well, yes, but only if it's a deep look. First appearances can be very illusory and deceptive.
And Octavius waves his fingers and the rose vanishes. Verily, it is so. Had I a real rose, I would have... Had I a true rose, I would have given it to you. But let my sweet and sincere words be as true as I wish that rose were.
Don't do that. They do say it's the thought that counts, after all.
And Octavius gives a light bow and turns to Iona and said, "You wouldn't have tolerated one bit of that had I said it to you now, would you?"
Erica?
She doesn't say anything. She's ticked off.
Sorry.
Very good. I actually think that was perfect.
Is that how you would have responded? No response?
I was deep in thought. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
What can I do for you? Okay.
I did not expect that kind of response. Well, you have. Perhaps that serves me right, doesn't it?
I daydream. I think about my work a lot.
Did anyone have anything else that they wanted to ask each other before we arrive at the shipwreck?
Yeah, I want to do something.
Yeah, please.
Aiden would have been watching this exchange, and where are we walking? Are we walking through a city?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say that you're walking probably through the main thoroughfares. You're wanting to get there as quickly as you can. I'd say as a whole, you feel fairly, it's not the nighttime, and a lot of the danger, at least for now, seems to have passed.
Okay. Is there anything in Octavius's hands? Like, do you have anything in your hands right now?
Oh, it's Jasper all over again. No. No.
Okay. So you said we're walking through a street or what? What are we walking around?
Mm-hmm. Through the main thoroughfares.
Okay. In a dark alley, is there a dark alley around here? Are there alleys, presumably?
Yep. Absolutely.
So in an alley, 40 feet away, if I can project that far, I want to make it sound like there is a gaggle of cats dying very loudly in Octavius's direction.
What?
What?
What in the world?
Psychotic.
As you're walking. Yeah, describe this sound as you're walking, and to the side, Octavius. This is what you hear. Go ahead, Aiden. Tell me what this sounds like. I'm very interested.
At the same time, I'm going to be trying to walk closer to Octavius. But yes, 40 feet away in an alley. Actually, you know what? See, I don't know what would get the attention of what his race is. I'm just assuming that he would look at cats. Is that a fair assumption based on the knowledge? Can I roll a knowledge check about his race?
I would say, well, I want to actually ask Octavius, what do you think would get you the most?
What? Wait, what would get me the most?
What would distract you the most? What would grab your attention?
You want to know?
I'm doing a knowledge check. That's what I'm trying to do, a knowledge check about what your species might be distracted by.
Let's see the knowledge check.
Okay.
Well, what knowledge check would it be?
This would be knowledge nature.
Okay.
Oh, baby.
19.
What do you think he would get from that? So you can determine that, Octavius.
A ball of yarn and laser pointers. No. What would be most enticing to a catfolk?
Not enticing. It doesn't have to be enticing. In fact,
distracting.
I would not go for enticing. I would go for scary.
Oh, scary. Oh, I mean, what would be most scary?
Scary, but would make you look.
Oh, what would make me look? Okay, I'll try to give a few things. I mean, catfolk are known for their gregarious natures, so they tend to be they're inclined towards hyper extroversion, I guess. So they love conversation. They
would the cats work? Would the gaggle of dying cats work?
You're asking me if your idea would work.
Would you look?
I mean, I think anybody, if they heard they'd probably definitely take note of that and stop whatever they were doing.
I'll stick with what I was doing then. What he hears in the alleyway is a bunch of cats die.
With that, I know we had looked at that before, Kyle. Was there a save for that, or what's the way to determine what that is?
I'm not trying to scare him. I just want him to look over there.
Whether or not it's real.
Oh no, he said there was no. All right, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
I can't remember what we decided.
This is essentially ghost sound. So
well, it's like 4 of them, and that's why it was confusing. I didn't know what to say of it. It was ventriloquism, ghost sound, and alter voice. It's supposed to be a mixture of those 3 things. And the actual feat does not give any information on what a save would be like for it.
Let me just double check.
I know ventriloquism.
Let's go ahead and let's do a. Say again.
Ventriloquism and ghost sound are will saves.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do a will save for you, Octavius.
Yeah. Oh, dang it! It was almost at 20. Oh.
So you are aware of what Aiden's trying to do.
Even with an 11?
Oh,
really? Oh no, it's an 11.
Wait. Sorry. I thought he said natural 20.
Oh, almost. It was just riding on natural 20, and then it went to
8.
Yeah, 8.
Okay. Yeah, no. You, Octavius, you genuinely hear a bunch of screaming cats that are dying in a nearby alley, and you believe it's there, and it's terrifying.
Anyways, are you gonna look?
Oh yeah, he looks towards the alley.
All right, I want to sleight of hand this book that he's been scribbling in.
Oh. Oh.
I'm gonna make a perception check and see if I notice that.
Okay, go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
I did.
Okay.
It's a 28.
Go ahead and make a perception check with a negative. I'd say a negative 10. Octavius.
Okay, yeah. Absolutely. No, it's sight-based too, so hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you sure that's your skill in perception?
I am 100% sure.
Okay.
So you definitely see this, but you are completely oblivious, Octavius.
Yeah, I don't react. I just see it.
All right. For now, I'm just gonna stuff this into my sleight of hand it into my mini pockets in my coat.
You have just signed your death warrant. What do you actually think that you're doing?
Well, when I get a chance, I'm gonna see what he's been writing about me.
You will.
When he gets a chance,
He doesn't know. Okay. Well, that's all I wanted to do. I'm going to walk the other direction like nothing happened.
Okay.
He can figure out what the noise about the cats is, whatever he wants to do. I'm just going to keep walking.
Well, what do I see when I look in there?
I don't know.
When you look in there, it's empty.
So, I cast Detect Magic.
Oh, man. You do see a very faint element of magic that is quickly dispersing.
From like one school of magic, or the same
Yes.
school, multiple sources.
You know that it's from the illusion school. Yep, you would know that it's from the illusion school of magic. But as soon as I would say, quickly after you cast detect magic, it's very brief and it kind of disappears fairly quickly thereafter.
Octavius gives a chuckle. Charming. A jump scare. But the effect is not lasting, is it? No, we're about more than that. We seek to make lasting changes here.
Well, Aiden has nothing else to... he's minding his own business at this point.
Okay. All right. As you guys make your way through the rest of the city, making your way toward the shipwreck, you make your way to the edge of the docks on the edge of the river, and over the course of maybe about half an hour swim to the actual shipwreck itself. In the light, the shipwreck is a lot less garish. In fact, there are parts of it that are almost majestic. You can tell that despite the age that has worn on it, there are pieces of it that still stand firm. And you notice that at least the head of the ship is this elegantly carved dragon, and it's hard to tell whether or not it was woven or if it was made by an actual craftsman, due to the fact that it's lasted this long. Because this is almost a maybe no, I wouldn't say a staple, but it's a decently well-known area of the city. That it looks fairly, pretty even. This is starkly contrasted by your entrance, because as you emerge upon the shore where the ship is moored, on the ground you see a deep wet trail of blood.
Can I make a heal check to see how recent it is?
Oh yes, absolutely.
May I also make a perception check?
So,
Yeah, I'm also going to do a perception, if possible.
Okay, I rolled a nat 1. I don't know how what you're gonna make of that, but
so I would say, so first, go ahead and roll your perception check. So Anna, I would say part of the reason why your heal check wasn't very effective because you don't see a body. At least not at first. All you see is a lot of blood. With your perception check, or did you do your perception check, Iona?
I am trapped on the bed with a child on top of me, so I'm going to...
All right, I will roll. I keep on forgetting that you have a new child. I know, it's really silly of me to...
I'd rather just not wake her up.
Fair enough. Alright, so... Iona, you, as you're walking up these steps, dread, like, cold rain just kind of starts to trickle down your back. And you see just a little bit ahead the ripped apart head, arms, and body of the halfling Lindsay. And then, maybe 20, 30 feet away, you see, almost as if the boat and the wood itself of the boat had morphed and changed and warped into a spear that poked directly through the sternum of Blinksy and through his skull. And you see that pieces of his head have kind of split as this wood, almost like a tree, emerged from the top of his head. Both of them are completely and utterly eviscerated and dead.
You can see my face go white, and I closed my eyes for about 10 seconds to collect myself. And then...
We told them not to engage, didn't we?
We did. That doesn't mean they can't be engaged upon.
They were not meant to come to the boat itself.
We don't know if they came willingly.
Fair.
I walk to a street over and try and find someone to send a message for me to the police, just to let them know that two of our members have died.
Okay.
And to come help with an investigation.
All right.
Well, before Captain Burns starts walking off, like stuff, I would say, Captain Burns, you and I have both lost someone close to us. Would it help either with closure or this investigation if I could tap into their understanding of how they suffered this terrible death?
Their souls to the... I'm not in charge of their souls, but I approve.
Okay.
I don't...
Are you going to cast your spell?
I am, so I go to pull out my book.
Your book is gone.
There's a smirk across Octavius's face. Forgive me, it seems that someone is borrowing my book. Do you have any parchment to spare?
We are at the ship, right?
You are?
Alright, as they're doing this, I'm going to, hold on. With the bodies on the ship or outside of the ship?
The bodies are on the main piece of the ship that is above the water.
Okay. As this is going on, I'm going to say out loud, as much as I enjoy, as much as I don't enjoy the destructiveness of this scene, I need to check why we were here. And I'm going to walk into the ship. As soon as I hit some concealment, I am going to stealth.
So
did you
probably not see him as he does that?
Yeah.
Did you say that it seemed like somebody had made a giant spike, out of the ship to impale somebody?
Yep. It's almost as if they took the wood itself and warped it into a spear that went straight through his sternum, straight through his skull, and then split open.
I would press onward to see what's going on, but after what Aiden is doing now.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm walking through the ship stealthed. I'm gonna not take any penalties by moving too fast. But I am going to where I found her originally.
Okay. So you head into the cabin. Octavius, as you pull, I would say that you would have some extra parchment on you without too much issue. As you pull out and cast your spell, go ahead and read me again what you are able to find out by examining their blood.
Yes. Who are you? What are you? How was your blood shed? When was your blood shed?
Okay. So, for Lindsay, you get Lindsay, and then it's, the eye, almost instinctively gets signed with a little heart. And then it says, I'm a halfling who always tries my best. And I tried my best. And then what was the other one? What were the other ones? So who are you? What are you? How are you killed?
How was your blood shed? Yes.
How was your blood shed? And then she said, it was my friend who killed me.
When was
And
your
then-
blood shed?
And why was my blood shed?
When?
Oh, when?
Yeah, and I should say that it's a brief it's a brief outline of the events that caused its wound to the best of the victim's knowledge. So obviously, if their knowledge is super limited, there's not going to be too much of an outline.
Right. So when you get probably a sense of about maybe 5-6 hours ago.
Okay. Tavius takes the paper to Captain Burns. Your full report. I'm sorry.
Almost. Because then there's Blinksy.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Blinksy, as you're reading through that, it says that,
Oh, I got to cast this twice then, baby. Yeah, there we go.
Yep. Blinksy is, states his name. It's very simple. It says human. Next it says, how are you killed? And it says wood. And then
Yes.
yeah. The piece that doesn't make much sense is it says, when did you die? And it says, just recently. Something about that seems off to you as you look at it. And as you hand Captain Burns the parchment, the boat itself, you start to hear a creaking and a cracking.
How far am I into this boat when this is happening?
You're inside the cabin.
Okay, I'm still. Is the cabin where she was or originally?
Give me 2 seconds.
Sorry, I just don't want to die in this boat.
Inside of the boat or in the water?
I don't want you to die on that boat either, you son of a gun. Book thief.
I am not a book.
They could still be on the ship.
Fine. Book borrower.
As I go in, I was going to do more stuff as I walked in. I just was letting other stuff happen. I'm not gonna blindly walk. I'm gonna look around because someone just died.
Just waltz through with the blindfold on.
Yes, yes. I want to make sure that's not what I'm doing.
You are just like every character in every slasher movie ever. Even though there's a killer on the loose, why would you ever check corners or stay with other people?
Oh no, I'm there with him.
No, I'm stealth. You better be stealth if you're with me. I'm not about to
Can't see you if you're stealth.
secondhand stabbed through the chest by a spike.
Would you have, like, let me know where you are? Because, yeah, I certainly can't see you if you don't choose to make your presence known.
Well, I was going in there and I was going to look on the way to the cabin, and I was going to. I wanted. There's a. Operations. What do they call it in mathematics?
Order of operations?
Yes, yes. There's an order of operations to this that I want to make sure I follow.
Okay. So, as you do go, as you enter the, as you enter into the cabin, Rand and Aiden, a piece of the cabin that you're in, part of it is submerged in the water. And as you're coming into the cabin, Rand, I need you, since you're going behind Aiden, I need you to go ahead and make a reflex save for me. And then Dominique and Captain Burns, I like that, Captain Burns. As you're investigating the area, I want you two to go ahead and make a perception check for me. Okay. So, Rand, as you come into the cabin, you trip slightly, and you don't think too much of it. But as you turn, you notice that the waters that are in this room start to churn and change and warp.
The water in the room?
The water. And then, Dominique, I'll go ahead and roll for perception for Burns. Both of you at the same time hear this rushing, this crackling that seems to emerge from the area around you, and you notice that there, at least at one point in time in the recent past, was what looks to be a fire pit in the center of this landing of the boat, and you notice that the flames of this fire pit start to grow and start to burn, and the coals, almost as if they have been reignited, start to lick at the ground itself. And as that happens, the six of you start to hear a shuddering as the boat starts to heave. And near Octavius and Saana comes this giant, almost beast made of interwoven wood and metal that rips from the part of it rips from the body of Blinksy. Amongst the flames, this almost lithe creature of flame starts to burn and make itself known. And finally, for Rand and Aiden, the water in the area starts to boil over and starts to come rushing into the cabin as if the boat is sinking. And you start to, your exit out of the room starts to quickly be filled with water. And it's about there we're going to end for the week.
Well, there was something I could do here, and I was...
Yep.
So, we can end, but how quickly is this filling with water?
I would say unnaturally fast.
So,
I would say you enter in here, and within, probably about a 30-second time frame, Rand comes in, trips a bit, turns, and starts to see the water bubble up and starts to rush into the room.
Estimating how fast to fill up the room, I'm trying to figure out my reaction to this.
27.3 seconds. Just kidding.
We'll go ahead and roll initiative. And get an idea of what that looks like
Do you want to
next
do that
week.
next time? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we can do that next time. I was just wondering, because I have, the shadow dimensional door thing. I was going to try and grab Rand and teleport out of there before we're, stuck.
Yeah,
but
there's
I
absolutely
would like to not be boiled. I'd appreciate that.
yes, and that's why I was like, if we can just do that and then end it, because I don't want to be boiled alive.
We'll go ahead and we'll roll initiative next time.
Okay.
Yeah, boy.
All right, we'll do this next time.
Hope you've
Okay.
got good initiative, Aiden.
I
Oh.
should.
All right, I'm gonna head to bed, y'all.
Okay.
I'm
Ending the
exhausted.